Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Thank you for joining me today. I'm also honored to have you bring me into your homes and onto your phones for friendship and to listen to me speak and things like that. If you're new to my channel, please hit subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you can get notifications when I'm online, when I'm doing live stuff, when I'm posting things. And at the end of the video, please hit the like or dislike button and please leave me a comment. So today we're doing Q&A because I've had a lot of people asking me some pretty important but a little unusual when it comes to questions. So I figured, well, if I have people asking me these questions, there's probably a lot of other people out there that are wondering what the answers are to them as well. So here we go. I will do my best to answer these. Some of them I have already answered, but I'm going to go over them again here on the video so that others can get answers to these questions, okay? So I'm not going to name names because I don't want to make anybody feel shy or anything like that. So I had a sister text me and she said, "Sister, sad thing is my family tells me not to wear a burka." Okay, so she really wants to cover. She wants to cover her face, she wants to cover her body and be very modest and have privacy and be religious. And this is a sister that just recently reverted to Islam. So my advice to her was, what can you do or say to them so that they will understand you and accept your decision, right? So when you're in a situation like that with somebody that disagrees with your choices or your religion, anything like that, maybe your dreams and desires, you really need to sit down and think how to approach them, how to help them understand what it is within you that needs that as a human being, as a unique human being, right? So what I wanted for her to do was kind of reflect and think about choosing the right words to get the best response from her parents so that hopefully she could help them to understand where she was coming from and gain acceptance of her choice, right? Okay, so the next one is... Oh, so the same sister asked me if she starts wearing the burqa, is she never to remove it? Now, keep in mind that she's new to Islam. And so I told her, no, of course that's not true. And actually, I get a lot of people commenting saying that, oh, you must not be able to breathe and how oppressive and you can never show your face and you have to wear that in the house all the time, 24/7. No, that's not correct. When we wear the burqa, when we wear the niqab, hijab, all of that, right? We don't wear it all the time. We wear it when we want privacy and to show respect for God, for our religion and our choices, to make us more comfortable and we feel more beautiful when we're out in public. Okay, does that make sense? It's kind of like if you're gonna go out in the rain and you don't want to get wet, you put on a raincoat, right? So for us, if we're wearing hijab, niqab, burqa, whatever you want to call it, abaya and all of that, we want to cover before we go out in public so that we can protect ourselves, right? We can protect our privacy. We can show our faith in God. We can be more comfortable. We feel more beautiful, right? It's our choice. I hope that makes more sense to all of you. We take it off when we're in the house, unless we have, male people over that are not relatives. then you would still wear hijab, which is just the headscarf. And if you wanted to wear niqab, or if your family culture required you to wear niqab around other males in the home, then you could do that. You would do that, right? But that's not the majority. And you know, some women like to wear their hijab when they're in the house anyway, because it keeps their hair up out of the way. If they're cooking, they don't have to worry about hair falling down. You know, it's just more comfortable if they know they're going to go in and out of the house a lot. They might just keep their hijab on. That's just the headscarf. It's not a big deal. Okay, but yes, you do take it off. We don't wear it all the time, especially not niqab. We don't wear that all the time. Okay. All right. So the next question. This actually is the same sister, and she asked me how she can revert. She wanted to revert to Islam, okay? And from the impression I got from her, the family is not Islamic, they're not Muslim. So what I told her was she could go to a local mosque, preferably on a Friday for Jummah, because that's when most of the people are there for prayer for Jummah. And she could let them know that her intention was to accept God, the one and only God, Allah, and do the Shahada. So the Shahada is when you just repeat after someone and you say, I accept Allah, who is the most gracious, most merciful. He is the only God, the one and only God. And basically that's it. And then you are a Muslim, right? So I told her she could do that. And I said to her, if you're not able to go to a mosque and you need to do it online, let me know and I will help you figure that out, okay? So she responded right away and she says, well, I can't go to the mosque. I need to do it online. How do I do that? And so I told her, first I went to yislam.org, okay? Because yislam.org is an amazing Muslim organization that has a lot of resources. It's all free. They will give you a free Quran, a very nice one. In fact, I use mine that I got many years ago from them all the time still. In fact, it's getting a little bit worn out. Because really, it's one of my favorites and it's just the right size. I can put it in my purse, I can keep it by my bed. It's easy to handle, I can hold it with one hand, whatever. It has larger print, it's not on white paper, so it's super easy to read. And so yislam.org is where I went to take a look to get some information on how she could revert to becoming a Muslim online. And I gave her that information and I posted that information on my Instagram so others could have access to it. And she was able to do the Shahada that very, I don't even want to say that very hour. She literally went straight to yislam.org, called them, and did the Shahada over the phone with them instantly. She literally texted me back a few minutes later and said that she had reverted and she was now Muslim, okay? So if you want to revert or convert, however you want to call it, and you can't get to a mosque or you feel too shy to go to a mosque, whatever the reason, you know, it could be COVID-19, that's an issue around the world right now. Some mosques are open, some are not, right? So go to yislam.org and they have people to answer the phones 24 hours. They will answer your questions 24 hours. They will provide you with resources that help you as a new Muslim. Even if you're not a new Muslim, if you want to learn more about the religion and you haven't been particularly active, they can help you with all of those resources, okay? All right, so let's go to the next question that I pulled out here. Oh, okay. So another sister got a hold of me recently and she told me that she was having a big problem with her family because she's very curvy and very womanly. and her family didn't want her to wear Islamic clothing. They didn't want her to cover up either. She wants to wear the niqab, the hijab, the abaya. She doesn't want her body shape showing. She gets a lot of looks from strange men all the time when she's on public transportation. She is 20 years old, but she still lives with her parents, and she was in quite distress over it because her parents wouldn't let her wear what she felt would be the best modest comfort clothes for her, right? Including undergarments, which made her very uncomfortable physically and traumatized emotionally. So the advice I gave her was this: if she was not able to access undergarments, she does have clothes, she could be strategic and be creative and make her own undergarments to help support and protect and give her modesty, right? So I just told her to get a smaller top and to cut it and to tie it into knots in the areas that she needed the support and the tightness for lift and everything and modesty. And then to layer her clothing. Layer it so that her body shape couldn't be seen very well at all, if at all. And if she wasn't able to wear a headscarf, a hijab, or a niqab, then to tuck all her hair into a hat so that her hair is covered, and that protects her, that covers her beauty and gives her more privacy and less unwanted looks from strange men when she's out in public, okay? And with today's COVID-19, a mask. So if you can't wear the actual Islamic clothing, even though you find it beautiful and the most effective, you can improvise, be creative. If people are blocking you from that, find other ways to be modest and cover yourself and be accepted at the same time. And going back to my other response to the first sister, approach these people and try to let them understand your point of view and try to come to some sort of agreement. Help them to understand why you feel the way you do. And hopefully they will help you, okay? So I'm going to address a brother's comment to me, and he had said, so he follows me, and he had decided to revert to Islam as well, and this was about a week ago. And he said to me that he's looking up to me, and that hopefully, he says, hopefully you can guide me, madam. I feel very complimented that people are looking up to me, and I try very hard to be a good example. I will do the best I can to share the knowledge that I have with all of you. I hope that you don't put me on a pedestal, though, and don't get too high of expectations of me, because I am a human being and I am also a revert. You know, so it is what it is. Hopefully I'm doing more good than not good, right? That's my intention anyway. So I will do the best I can. I will be there for all of you to the best of my ability. But remember that I too am a human being, and so I have my own moods, my own issues, my own humanness to contend with as well, right? So no pedestals, please, because I will fall off of that eventually, right? In your eyes. And we don't want that. I don't want that. You don't want that. Okay, so just remember that I am a human too. I just do the best I can for all of you and for myself. But mostly for God, Allah. Okay, so let's see. This next one is... Oh, okay. So this is another thing I wanted to address today. I get a lot of young people that watch me and follow me. And a lot of them like to be like me, or they wish for me to be their mother, right? At first, when young people started asking me if I would be their mom, or if they could call me mom, or I could kind of adopt them as their son or their daughter or whatever, I initially wasn't quite sure how I felt about that. And being a woman and having beauty mean a lot to me, I also was looking at it from the context of, oh, I'm old, right? Which I am, but I don't like to think of myself that way. But then something happened. I was actually watching another really short video, and there was an older man, and he was fishing with his son. And one of his followers, a younger person, a younger man, sent a comment to him that said, "Can I be your son?" And he was so sad for that person. He said that he hoped that that person had a good home life and that they were okay, and if they ever came to where he was, that he would take them fishing. And yes, he could be his son, right? And that just really made me take a better look at the people that are asking me to be their mother. And I realized that if they felt like they had enough love and enough support and enough voice in their own families, or maybe they don't even have a mother anyway, they wouldn't be asking me. So that really touched my heart, and so now I'm looking at it from a completely different context of, yes, I would love to be your mother. And actually in Islam, that's one of the highest honors, is to be someone's mother. So for all of you that have asked me to be your mom, I will be your mom, at least virtually. I'm your virtual mom. And all of you that want to have me as your mother, I'm here for you. I love all of you. I care about all of you. And yeah, you can call me mother if you want to, okay? So I wanted to touch base on that because I felt like that was really important. And, you know, when I saw that with him, that really touched my heart and made me really get a better perspective on what was actually happening when young people were asking me to be their mom, okay? I'm gonna go and see if I can find another question or two. I don't want to make this video too long. One of my other followers, who's a young person as well, has asked me to give some words of inspiration so that they can feel happier and more grateful and more comfortable in their life, right? So I guess something that I would say that's really important is to look at your life and look at the good things that are going on in your life every day. What are the things that you can find in your life each day that make you happy and grateful to Allah? We all have things that we don't have to pay for. Allah gives us many free, wonderful things in our lives. The beauty of the skies and the oceans and the trees and the sands and the earth. It's beautiful. Flowers and plants, birds and insects and animals, they're all really wonderful, and we can all share those equally with no worry about, you know, our skin color or our economic differences or our geographical differences or anything like that. The other thing is, be aware and grateful of the people around you that care about you and love you. And also be aware and grateful that, you know, if you have enough food to eat, so you're not feeling hungry. If you have a place to sleep, so you're not out in the cold or the heat, and you have a place where you can lay your head and be quiet and be safe. Be grateful to have whatever clothing you have. You don't have to have a big expensive wardrobe. All you need is 1 or 2 garments that can cover you. You know, it's just, I would say it's that. Look for a few things throughout the day, every day, that make you happy and grateful, and focus on those. Don't focus on the other things that are making you feel like you want more or you're not as comfortable as you could be. Don't try to compare yourself to other people, because the blessings that you have are different from the blessings that other people have, and the hardships you have are different from what other people's hardships are, right? So just being aware of that also, I think, is helpful to having peace and being grateful to Allah and feeling happy in your life. And I would also say that have something to look forward to each coming day, right? Let's say you can't identify anything that you can be grateful for tomorrow. Maybe you can't think of anything. Maybe it's just going to be the same old day, or maybe you have some hardships that you know you're coming up tomorrow, but you still have wonderful things, you still have beautiful things, you still have happy things, and you can make something for yourself to look forward to tomorrow. Perhaps starting to read a new book, or going to talk to a friend that you haven't talked to in a while, or trying a different recipe, trying to cook something different, or sitting underneath the tree and just having a cup of tea by yourself and reflecting about, you know, the peace in your heart, and maybe dreaming about what you'd like to do in the future, something like that, right? So create your own things to look forward to each day. The other thing I think I would say to young people and old is to realize that our world is changing very rapidly and it's never going to be the same. Now, there are negatives to that, but there are also positives to that. Try to focus on what those positives might be and what new opportunities might be there that you haven't even realized yet. If you are someone that feels stuck, or that they don't have an opportunity for higher education or multiple jobs that might be open to them, or even the ability to travel out of a village or the country into a city, think about what other options may be open to you now, okay, versus 2 or 3 months ago. If you are watching me, that means you have internet and you have a phone, you have a camera, you have the ability to look through search engines, and you can do your own research to find different avenues of income and creativity and success, okay? I would give you that piece of advice. Try to stay focused on who created you and why they created you, and that you're loved and cared for and protected, and that if you call on your Creator, that your Creator will hear you and answer you. It says that in every holy scripture, right? It says, knock and the door shall be opened. Remember me and I will remember you. Call on me and I will come to you, right? Those are not words that mean nothing. Those are powerful words. We are all the creation, the sons and the daughters of Allah. Allah, the most powerful, most merciful. We are created by Him. Remember that. So we have power too. Don't let Shaitan trick you into thinking that you have no power. You have power under God. You have the power of free will. You have the power to serve God, to go on the path that God told you to go on. My other advice, I guess, would be to follow what's inside of you. God put a path inside all of us. We have a kind of like a dream and a push to be somebody, to do some type of work, to be in certain places and things like that. Don't let Shaitan trick you into thinking that you can never get there, or you could never be that. No. God has the power to do anything, at any time, at any speed. And we are all His children. Don't get discouraged if you pray to Allah and you say, oh, but I've been praying for, what I need or where I need to be, or this success or that success, or a spouse or whatever, for a year, or for 5 years, or for 10 years. That doesn't mean Allah hasn't heard you or hasn't planned on giving you what you feel you need in your life. It just means that you're not meant to have it yet. That person or that thing or that career or that new location isn't for you yet. And the only, I don't want to say person, the only one who knows that is Allah. Why? The reasons are with Him, right? We're in the physical world, but only for a short time. So Allah put us here for a reason. Respect Allah's reason, and know that in the end, if you do what you're supposed to do according to Allah, God of heaven, you will have accomplished what you were supposed to do here on earth and be sitting with Him in heaven, right? And that's really the main goal here. We really need to stay focused on the fact that out of all of eternity, our lives are so short and so tiny. They're like a blink of an eye. Like a blink of an eye. So it isn't worth it to any of us to displease Allah, to hurt other people, to lie, cheat, and steal, and to not help others, or to complain about what Allah has given us, if in the end it just hurts us worse and we're not sitting in heaven with Him for eternity, right? So be good. Follow the scriptures. Be a person of God and be happy. And on that note, I think I'm going to cut this short now. I have other things I'd like to say and other questions that I'd like to answer. However, I think I've hit about the 30-minute mark, which is about too long for most people to sit and listen to me. So I'm going to let you all go now. Please have a blessed day. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, because that helps me to be here for all of you. It helps boost me up and be seen in the YouTube algorithm. And I want to be seen in the YouTube algorithm because I want to help more people and be here for more people. I appreciate all of you. Okay? Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful year. And may Allah make things easy for you. I love you all. Salam.